Hello and welcome to Discussion Today. I'm Tina Jha. Students aspiring to seek admissions to undergraduate engineering and technology colleges need not have mathematics and physics as their compulsory subjects in Class 12. This as per the latest rule book issued by the All India Council of Technical Education, that's the AICTE, which says starting the academic year 2021-22, students from diverse backgrounds will be eligible to take admissions to four-year BE and BTech courses. They can take admission in all colleges approved by AICTE. However, these students will have to undergo training. Currently, Class 12 level maths and physics are compulsory for admissions to undergraduate programs in engineering and technology. Now, the students have to pass 10+2 with any of the three subjects from among the listed courses, which include physics, mathematics, chemistry, computer science, electronics, information technology, biology, informatics practice, biotechnology, technical vocational subject, agriculture, engineering graphics, business studies, entrepreneurship. So candidates have to score 45% marks in these subjects, and for those in the reserved category, it is 40%. Bridge courses will be held in mathematics and physics and also in engineering drawing, which will be provided at the engineering universities itself. So on Discussion Today, we will analyze this recent development, the aim and objective of this move by the AICTE, and the apprehensions, the concerns surrounding it. Joining me on the program are two special guests. Let me introduce them to you first. We are joined by Professor Rajiv Kumar. He is Member Secretary, All India Council for Technical Education, and Professor Praveen Chandra. He is Dean, University School of Information, Communication and Technology, GGSIP University, Delhi. Welcome, gentlemen, on this edition of Discussion Today. So, Professor Rajiv Kumar, let me begin the program today with you. Help us understand the aim and objective of this move by the AICTE.
Well, thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to make doubts, several doubts which are appearing in various newspapers today. And before starting the discussion, I will discuss few issues which were before AICTE, before implementing this or before taking this decision. Like there are streams like agriculture engineering. We were getting representations and clarifications from various universities, from the various states, whether a person from agriculture background is eligible to take admission in BTech engineering, BTech in agriculture engineering. Now, because as per previous norms, mathematics, physics, they were compulsory for a student, but he was having the agriculture and engineering, agriculture mathematics, agriculture chemistry, agriculture physics, these were the subjects of that student. And in some states and some universities, these students, they were made ineligible for BTech in agriculture engineering. Similar is the case for biotechnical engineering and biomedical engineering, where most of the students, they have done 12th with biology, physics, chemistry and biology, but they have not taken mathematics, and they were termed as not eligible for courses in biotechnology and biomedical engineering. Another example was B design. B design, it is a area where very little knowledge of mathematics, physics and this chemistry, it is required. But as per our norms or as per the prevailing practice, they have to have physics, chemistry and mathematics. These are few examples. Another example I will like to add here, that 25 years back, AICTE started BTech lateral entry, where we permitted students from diploma stream to get direct admission in second year of engineering program. These students, they are having 10th and BTech, this diploma, 3 years diploma in engineering, and you understand that in 10th they have mathematics and science, no physics, chemistry, or in science you can say it is combination of physics, chemistry and biology, all subjects of biology, but no separate physics and chemistry. So with little background of physics and chemistry, and in diploma itself, they are not reading much of the mathematics. And they are allowed to take admissions at the second year of the BTech courses. And there also they were missing 2 compulsory courses of mathematics in first year. So we also proposed to have courses of mathematics, bridge courses of mathematics for such students, those who are taking admission, lateral entry admission in second year. So these were the few backgrounds. But now what I'm telling you, the clarification where it is required most is that we have not asked, we have opened the window. There are certain cases, certain students, those who have interest in humanities, but they are good in mathematics. And they are not taking mathematics as a subject at their +2 level. And they want to integrate these humanities discipline with the technology. So they are not having any entry in the technical education. Okay. So we have just opened the door for such type of students, those who are having diverse background and have interest in technology, then they can easily enter now in the technical education area. But with a rider that they have to undergo some mandatory courses, either in mathematics, if he's not having mathematics, or he has to have courses in chemistry or in physics, as per the requirement of the curriculum of that particular university.
Okay. I'll come to you for the clarifications and the apprehensions, but let me bring in Professor Chandra at the moment. So what Professor Kumar says that, it has been done to allow students from diverse backgrounds to take up engineering, which as per current rule, they're not able to do it. Professor Chandra, what do you think of the move? Is it going to be beneficial, as Professor Kumar says, or is it going to open a Pandora's box?
Whatever he has said, if you look at the crux of the matter that he has said, is that increasing the intake base for engineering is what he has talked about.
Yes.
He has not talked about getting good students into engineering. Please understand the difference, the statement that I'm making. Those who are interested in humanities but would like to do technology also and integrate them for their humanities subject, they are being attracted to, they should be attracted for engineering. Look, the aim should be, if a humanities student wants to learn technology for uses in humanities, put some technological or engineering subjects or scientific subjects or science subjects in their curriculum. Don't devalue engineering for them. Engineering, we have to first understand, AICTE is a regulatory body and it governs engineering education at up to a level of institutions. Not every engineering institution follows AICTE. As per the government regulations and ordinances, as Professor Rajiv would agree, IITs need not follow what AICTE is saying. NITs and IIITs are out of their purview. It is state universities, central universities affiliating in nature, and engineering colleges which have to follow AICTE. Follow, I'm saying, they are not, universities are not regulated by AICTE. Now, the crux is increasing the student base because engineering admissions are failing. That is the logic which is supporting all these developments. Where is the debate on what is engineering? Where is the debate what should be the development of engineering education per se in this country? Professor Rajiv said AICTE deliberated at its own about what should be done. AICTE may be a regulatory body, but without discussing it in an open manner with all stakeholders. And please understand, everywhere, even AICTE document says, teachers are the most important one. Who has talked to the teachers? Some teachers who have gone into administration have been spoken to. Apparently. Discussion to hua hi nahi. Just increase the student base. What sort of logic is this? I do not agree with this.
Okay, Mr. Kumar, coming back to you again. So, let me give you the opportunity to answer that concern that's been raised by Professor Chandra, that we are focusing on increasing the base, and there is a concern from the other academicians also that here the quality will be compromised.
Oh, no, I don't agree with the comments made by Professor Chandra. I will like to add here that it has not been done to increase the base of the engineering. This is not, but definitely it has opened door for the students, those who have interest in engineering and they are not able to get engineering due to all such things. And as per new education policy, now the multidisciplinary culture is a now new normal. Now we have to accept this normal, and definitely in new education policy talks about that you have to, from if you take 5, 3, 3 and 4, this education system is 5 years, 3 years, 3 years and 4 years. In 4 years, there is no boundary. Anybody can go up to that 4 years. So if you look at this scenario, then this policy is aligning with new education policy also, and also the students, those who are having interest in engineering but not able to do their +2 in mathematics or in physics, they will get an opportunity to pursue their education in technical arena.
But Professor Rajiv Kumar, that class 12 maths and physics is considered to be absolutely essential in the context of engineering. Now, the AICTE rule talks about bridge courses. The concern is, and the question that I want to ask you is, how can bridge courses be replaced for something which is the foundation for students who have not studied maths and physics? Their foundation in these subjects is going to be weak. How are bridge courses going to cover up that?
Bridge courses, all universities, they will identify the gaps for such students. And if they find that these gaps, they cannot be filled by providing bridge courses, then this student, they can be easily denied that you cannot pursue your education. So we are not saying that each and every student not having physics or mathematics as a course in +2 will come in the technical education. We are saying those who are interested and those who have passion for technical education and have some background, it is a door for such students and they can enter in technical education. So you have to understand that it is not that each and everyone will appear having non-physics or mathematics background, they can appear in this technical arena.
Okay, so for example, I am one student who has not studied maths and physics, but I am really interested in technology. I'm passionate about studying this course, but I am given the opportunity. I'm not able to cope up because I have not studied maths and physics. My foundation is extremely weak. So what kind of help am I provided? Because obviously I require hand holding, and at engineering level colleges, can students expect that?
Yes, this is the role of the engineering college and universities to provide hand holding and the help, and to provide bridge courses and the material. Here the role of the institutions and the faculty is very, very important. And without their support and help, it will be difficult for the students. So our faculty should be dynamic, our universities should be dynamic to design courses, to identify the gaps. So now it is a responsibility, more responsibility. This new education policy, when it talks about the autonomy, it comes with with great responsibility. So it will be the responsibility of the university, it will be the responsibility of the educational institutions to identify the gaps for such students and to design bridge courses. They have to be very, very dynamic that way.
Okay, Professor Chandra, so how prepared are the universities in providing this hand-holding support to the students who have whose foundation in these subjects is not very strong, but they require hand-holding and, of course, the extra effort on part of the teachers, on part of the universities. So how prepared are we going forth?
Look, what Professor Rajiv Kumar said, that those who could not get admission in their 11th and 12th in science stream, and they want to do engineering, he has identified the gap correctly. But the solution is wrong. If there is a need of increasing or having more sections in school education at 11th and 12th, you don't make up that gap in engineering. School board should encourage more science stream sections, right? Now, saying that, suppose that is not there, now we want to do this. Maybe that is the logic. You introduce a bridge course. Now, in a week, you have to teach the student. You have to apportion a set of subjects have to be taught. Bridge course will be taught in parallel, or will it be an actual bridge? You must cross the bridge before you get into engineering.
Yes.
No clarity is there. AICT has very sweetly said universities to decide the implementation. Now, a regulatory body should also tell us how to go about doing it. The name bridge is something that has to be crossed before. Now, that would mean, fine, we want to teach them, let's say, only maths and physics, 2 subjects for engineering. That means 2 years of school education of mathematics and physics has to be completed. Maybe we can do that in a year. Will AICT agree to this, that 1 year bridge course is done and then second year to 5th year engineering start? AICT will not agree, because if they had wanted this, they would have written it there. What they want is parallel mein bridge course padhaya jaye, and then in parallel you teach them courses which will depend on these bridge courses. Now you can't do this.
Okay, Professor
You do
Kumar.
this.
Do you want to respond to that? Because obviously when the implementation bit has been left to the universities, they will require support. They will require a clear roadmap. Is that missing? Are you working on it? Will it be provided to the universities?
Yeah, map is very, very clear. We have identified, and we can, bridge courses in the form of MOOCs can be provided. There are several MOOCs, 2,500 MOOCs presently available. New MOOCs are being developed, and universities have also been asked to prepare their MOOCs, and they can provide these MOOCs to the students. So there is self-study material can also be provided. I'm not saying that you conduct the classes, you conduct one classes and self-study material can be easily provided to the students. And if you see the model curriculum of AICTE, we have identified in present system, not talking about the new system, we have identified different requirement of different discipline of mathematics. So mathematics for all stream of the engineering is not same as for our model curriculum. Say for mechanical engineering, requirement of the mathematics is different. Requirement of the mathematics for electrical engineering is different. So we have identified this thing and we have prepared a curriculum which is dynamic, similar type of exercise. I know this is in beginning, it will have some replication and some time it is required to make all such things, but that can be done. It is a beginning. And after some time, things will be in the line itself. For initial years, universities and institutes, they are going to face some difficulty, and we will definitely guide them. We will definitely support them in way of developing contents, in way of developing MOOCs and all other materials they want to have. We will definitely support all these universities, but role of the universities and the institution is going to play a big role in implementing this.
Okay. Okay, Professor Chandra, you wanted to say something? Professor, please go ahead. Make your point.
Okay. My question is, look, a regulatory body defines rules. Rules can be right and wrong. The debate cannot take on this forum. But my question is, and it is straight, a bridge has to be crossed before you land on the other side. Saying MOOCs and this is always in parallel. Now, something which is a prerequisite cannot be taught in parallel, whether it is by self-study, whether it is by MOOC, whether it is by having classes. Saying that it can be done, Professor Rajiv Kapoor's answer appears to be as if it can be done in parallel. I do not agree entirely on this. And a regulatory body, in my opinion, sir, with your, look, you are my senior in every sense, so I will not make that statement. But sir, a regulatory body is a regulatory body for making rules, should not get into the academic aspect of the things. If you are leaving it free to the universities, you should have said, we would like this. Because aaj ke din mein aapne kya kar rakha hai? If a university decides, the last line of that page where the eligibility condition is written, the last 2 lines says, state education departments, universities, central or state, shall define the eligibility condition for every course. AICT's eligibility condition is just a guiding principle. It cannot be enforced the way AICT has written it. So saying that this has to be done is a misnomer. AICT is not making it a regulatory framework. It is giving the option to the universities. And bringing in things which is going to bring total chaos in engineering admissions and engineering education. Rather than doing good, it is going to look. I sincerely doubt that the apex and the highest rated engineering institutions in this country are going to do away with all the requirement. The JEE advanced syllabus will not be decided by NTA or AICT framework, which would mean that there would be two categories of engineers in this country. Why are we dividing the discipline like this?
I think the
AICT
larger
should
concern,
think over
Professor
this.
Kumar, the larger concern is on the quality of engineers. The move may be with a good intention that you're opening up the field to students with diverse backgrounds, but the concern largely is that it's going to take a toll on the quality of engineers that we are going to produce. And how are we going to concern that? Professor Chandra is absolutely right. Why are we sort of creating a divide between good and bad engineers?
So first of all, I will like to answer Professor Chandra's query. It is true. Whatever we are prescribing, this is just a model type of guidelines. And universities, if they want to continue with physics, chemistry, mathematics, we don't have any issue. We have just opened a gate. If you find some student which is good in having good background of mathematics, and he has not done +2 in mathematics, you can enter that student in technical arena. We are not imposing anything on the technical universities or any university or any institution. We are open. Why you said that we are intervening in the academic matters. I will just like to share an example with you. We came out with the model curriculum for the engineering education recently, 2 years back. Why we came out with the model curriculum? But because several universities, whether they are the old universities or the new university from the last 15 years or 20 years, they have not revised their curriculum. Then we came out with the model curriculum as a guiding force. We are not enforcing that model curriculum on any university. We are asking them, just we have come out with a model curriculum, and if you wish that you can adopt it and you can make changes as per your wishes and as per the requirement, local requirement of and as per the expertise of the university, you can make changes. So these things, they are models. Similarly, if any university wishes that they don't want to go away from physics, chemistry, or mathematics, they can continue with them. We are not imposing, but those students and those university, those who are coming, that if they think that a particular student having a passion for the engineering and he has not done this physics and mathematics in +2 level, then he should not be left behind. And this is the new education policy talks about. If we are not, it is just a beginning, and you will see this type of thing in all forms of education in time to come.
Okay.
So it is not in my hand, in your hand. We have to give more freedom to the students, and everything is the outcome based now.
Okay. So, Professor Chandra, very quickly, if I would like to, take your opinion on that, what Professor Kumar says is understandable. It brings in a lot of flexibility and is in line with the national education policy. So if it has to be implemented, what according to you is the best way forward? How can we implement it efficiently if it has to go forward?
Flexibility is always good. Why talk of flexibility starting after +2? Ideally, the education policy should not be divided into components. The elementary school, middle school, high school, and then college. When you have a framework, you have a complete framework where complete freedom should be available from the beginning. And every discipline should make a statement, what are the prerequisites that should be satisfied when you want to get in there. Right? This should be known from class 1, that engineering means this, history means this. You have to have these knowledge sets before you come into the college. This flexibility, if it does not exist at +2 level, we are trying to now bring it to engineering. Now it's a question of fulfilling the prerequisites. And the prerequisites are not being defined. Flexibility is being given. Every discipline must have a prerequisite. In the 2021 handbook of AICT effectively removes the term prerequisite for engineering from the framework. Now this is bad. जो चीज मैं ये भी बोल रहा हूँ, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए. दैट मीन्स जो बच्चे 11th 12th में जो इंजीनियरिंग करना चाहते हैं उनको फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दीजिए ना, कि उनको साइंस पढ़ने से कोई ना रोक सके. Nobody should stop them from studying science. Just because they have been stopped from studying science, they want to do engineering or sciences, we want to now open a floodgate without satisfying the discipline requirement for prerequisite. Now, AICT answer to that is there in their handbook. We have not imposed anything. We have given the flexibility only. Now, like saying agriculture, science, design. Now, design in its totality has been taken over by AICT. Only engineering design should have been the purview of AICT. If engineering design only had been there, not apparel design, not food design, designing of culinary items, not food processing. Food processing, I understand, would be an engineering discipline. Design would have been restricted from engineering perspective to engineering design. And there, mathematics and science would have been required. The reason that AICT allowed apparel design also to be taught, furniture design to be taught. Look, I'm not an expert in design. That has led to this issue in design. Agriculture engineering, first. Agriculture engineering, we could always have said, you require for agriculture engineering, I would say that agriculture people should be allowed. That can be written as a separate eligibility condition.
Okay, so
Don't
I
say
think
somebody who has
with
not
that,
done agriculture engineering.
I think the concerns and apprehensions are too many. We are just hopeful that in the times to come, these concerns and apprehensions are taken care of by the AICTE. The move looks to be good. It aims to open up the field of engineering for for students from diverse backgrounds. But at the same time, for it to be implemented effectively and efficiently, all stakeholders have to be on the same page. And for this, we're hopeful that the AICTE will be, in the times to come, able to allay all the apprehensions that have been put forth by the academicians. So with that, I'll have to call it a wrap on this edition of Discussion Today. Thank you to both my guests for joining me on the program and putting forth their perspective, sharing their views with us on the subject, with us and our viewers as well. Thank you very much for your time.